Well, one has to recognize that we are two countries which are very far apart, but there was a moment when Spain in the 16th, 17th century was very much present in this area. In fact, from Spain we used to call the Pacific the Spanish Lake, because Spain was present in all the Pacific facade of what is the American continent, north, central and south, and also very much present in certain islands in the area, Philippines, Guam. Spaniards discovered Solomon Island, Vanuatu, but they never managed to discover, in the end, Terra Australis Incognita, although very near. Torres was north of here, and the name of the strait is because of him. In any case, we didn't discover Australia, but Spaniards were the first to arrive to the colony, not to arrive to the colony, to arrive by boat to Sydney Port, to Port Jackson at the moment, 5 years after the beginning of the colony, which was, as you very well know, 1788. In 1793, an expedition of two vessels called the Malaspina Expedition entered into Port Jackson Bay and anchored in Sydney Cove, just very near where the Opera House is today. There has been a previous expedition by the French, La Pérouse, but they went by boat to Botany Bay and then came to the to what was at this the little village of Sydney by walking. After that, well, we have had the normal contact between countries which are very far apart. We established or started to have consular relations in mid-19th century, and we started our diplomatic relation, well, 50 years ago. In fact, now we are commemorating the 50th anniversary of the establishment of a diplomatic relation between Spain and Australia. In the meantime, we have had certain important connections. The Merino ship, you must know by name, everybody knows in Australia. The Merino ship is a race of ships which come from Spain. There is a curious, very not too well known factor also, which is that after the what the British call the Peninsular War, and we call the War of Independence, which means the war against Napoleon, the invasion of Napoleon, Spaniards and British fought together in Spanish soil against the French, at the time French invader, and invader. And after the war finished, some of those British officers who have spent in Spain 5-6 years fighting, they moved to this new land of opportunities, which was Australia. That explains why there are quite a significant number of names, geographical names in Australia, which are of Spanish name and Spanish origin. Just to mention one very well known, Barossa Valley, comes from a valley in south of Spain, Barrosa, adapted to the British pronunciation, and is called the Barossa Valley, by two officers. One of them was the Governor General at the time of Southern Australia, who had been fighting together with Wellington troops in Spain. Those are some of the historical connections. Well, it's curious because in our 50 years of diplomatic relations, having a normal trade relation between countries which are far apart, the curious thing is that in the last decade, probably in the last 10 years, there's been a qualitative jump in our relation. Not so much because of trade, which also has increased, and investment, from both sides, but above all because of the increasing presence of Spanish companies in Australia. Some of them are global players in sectors as infrastructure, renewables, services, and that's something which is very unknown among the public opinion both of Australia and Spain. But they play a significant and important role in delivering quality projects, helping competitivity, and in the end they contribute to the well-being of the Australian citizens. What are the reasons for the presence of those companies? I think they are very clear. Australia is a country which has a continuous growth, which makes it a very interesting market. Australia is a highly secure legal environment, which is very important for companies to operate here. And also, Australia has a huge potential from the point of view of foreign companies, Spanish companies in this case, to be able to operate from here into growing and already important economies in this region. And we can see that they have started to operate in other countries and many times in joint venture with Australian companies. I think that's a very interesting factor. With presence in Australia, they are near 100 companies. But the important thing is that some of them are huge companies. It's little known, but probably the biggest construction company in Australia, which is CIMIC, is owned by a Spanish company, but they are fully Australian, certainly. And there are other companies in those sectors I mentioned to you, infrastructure, renewable services, which are huge companies. I am thinking in the company which bought Broadspectrum, which is a services company employing almost 30,000 people, very much involved in maintenance with the Department of Defense. Well, they are companies which are fully Australian, but have a Spanish connection because of their headquarters. From trade, is growing. I could tell you that, for example, in 2017, exports from Spain to Australia were 1.6 billion euro. We are talking euro. And exports from Australia to Spain were a little less, around 618 million euro. But the important thing is that in both cases, they were growing more than 20% per year. In the case of Spanish export as well as Australian export. Investment in data, official data from investment is always difficult to calculate because they move. An important operation changes the vision, but still in 2016 there were 5,000 something more million Australian investment in Spain, and a little less of 1,000 million or 1 billion Australian dollar Spanish investment. At present, I am sure it's much higher, but there are not official data still public. But it is because there has been some important investment from Spain to Australia, and certainly some important investment of Australia. I'm thinking Macquarie and some other investment in Spain, so it must be quite higher. The important thing is that the tendency of tourism is increasing, both sides. There are more Spaniards coming, but still they are a number which cannot compete with the number of British people, for example, coming here, or Chinese. But the important thing is that they are growing as well as the Australian tourists going to Spain. It's still low numbers compared with the Australian which go to UK or France or Italy, but they are growing. There is a lot of attraction by the Camino de Santiago, El Camino, which attracts a lot of Australian. And what I'm told is that the Australian tourist is probably the profile of the tourist is the one which stays as a medium longer and which spends more than other which were considered big spenders, Chinese or Russian. So it's very good tourism. The diaspora is difficult to know because some of them are already descendant and many of them are fully Australian. Some of them keep the language, some of them don't keep the language, but Spanish, descendant of Spanish, there must be around 30,000 in the whole of Australia.